waiting. Yeah, I see now it's started, yeah?
Yeah, in a few seconds.
It says meeting streamed jetzt live auf YouTube. It says in German here. That's not good energy. Waiting.
All right then. Okay, so sorry for the rough start, but then I'll say my bit in Hebrew and then we'll continue. Okay. אז שלום לכולם, ברוכים השבים למפגש של אני לוסנג, בנושא פרק 6 של הסבלנות בספר של שנטי דבה, המדריך לאורח חיי הבודיסטווה. אני רק אגיד לפני שאנחנו מתחילים, קודם כל, אני רואה שכולם פחות או יותר הדליקו את המצלמות שלהם, שזה נהדר, אני שמח מאוד, מי ש... כמובן זה לא מחויב מצדכם, אבל זה תמיד נחמד לראות את הפנים שלכם, וזה יוצר אינטראקציה יותר נעימה עם המורה. חוץ מזה, מה שאנחנו עושים כאן, וגם כל המפגשים הקודמים עם אני לוסנג, וגם מפגשים עם מורים אחרים, כולם מוקלטים ומשודרים באופן חי ביוטיוב, ואפשר לחזור ולראות אותם בערוץ היוטיוב של ידידי הדרמה. אני אשלח עוד רגע את הקישור לשם, וגם את הקישור לאתר ידידי הדרמה, שם תוכלו למצוא עוד מידע על פעילויות ומידע על העמותה. וכמובן, לסיום אני רק אומר שכל הפעילות של ידידי הדרמה נעשית בהתנדבות, ואם אתם מרגישים, אתן מרגישות שהפעילות שלנו תרמה לכם בצורה כזו או אחרת, אתם בהחלט יותר מוזמנות לתרום לנו חזרה, באמצעות דנה מנדיבות הלב, ואת הפרטים לכך תוכלו למצוא גם באתר ידידי הדרמה. וזהו, so now back to you, Ani, thank you very much, and let's begin.
Okay, thank you, Tom. So, how is everybody? I can see Boaz joined us from Yotfat. Hello. How are you doing? While you're in Yotfat, how can you not be well, isn't it?
That's right, very good.
Yeah, the conditions to be well is like perfect in Yotfat, isn't it? Then with a mind like yours on top of it. So then, you know, I don't know if anybody knows Boaz, but he's really, wow, he's a wonderful person. Then I see Ronnie. Ronnie, how are you doing? Just waving, okay. Then do I know Yael? I see. Then some others. Tommy is there. Hi. And then some just names and some pictures. But Sigal is there, but it looks like an empty picture. Are you there, Sigal Gould? I can only see your ceiling. Anyway. Tom, do I have the screen sharing because I wanted to show you something? Yeah, I have. So this is maybe a bit small, but maybe you can see it and you can read it. This is something that Venerable Yönten had on her. You know Yönten, the one who was teaching, or who was like the teacher of human spirit, or she is the teacher of human spirit in Shantideva. So she had it on her Facebook page. If you can't see it yet, then I'll open it again, because sometimes one needs to do twice. Can you see it? I can't see you anymore, so somebody has to say yes.
Yes, you can see it. It's a bit small.
It is maybe too small, eh? So I try to make it bigger. Okay. There. Okay. Can you read it now?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So at the end of the day, at the end of the week, at the end of my life, I want to be able to say that I contributed more than I criticized. This is maybe something you can write out, and you can put it somewhere where you can see it, because, you know, we are constantly criticizing, especially ourselves also, sometimes in a very unconscious way. So if you don't belong to that group of people, then that's fine. Then just be happy. Don't get upset. Don't get angry by thinking, what is she talking about? I never criticize myself. Yeah, but this kind of self-denigrating thing that we're not good enough and all this. And this is very dangerous in Dharma practitioners. And especially when we study beautiful texts like this, like Shantideva, because then, you know, we kind of hear, I have to be like this and I can't do like this. And I always have to kind of optimize myself. I have to be better than this. This is not good enough and all this. In a way, if you are strong enough and you really understand the Dharma, especially the emptiness part, then that's fine. You can talk to yourself like this. But we don't. You know, we talk to our ego that we don't even know that it doesn't exist. And then it, instead of it making it weaker and smaller, you know, I mean, when I talk about making the ego weaker, we also need to understand what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the thing that sometimes it takes all the space, it creates all the negative emotions, it creates all the anxiety, it totally exaggerates. It's kind of, yeah, this kind of thing that whenever we feel good, it's not there. And things go really well, even though they're difficult. And whenever we need it the least, when things are really difficult, then it comes up. Yeah. It's always there when we don't need it. That one I'm talking about. Yeah. So if you criticize yourself and you kind of go there again and again and again and again, how not good you are, how you're not succeeding, this and that, and this, then it kind of blows it up. It makes it even bigger. So when we, especially when we come now to the next few verses on patience, because it's quite tough text, you know, I mean, it's like, this is really, really difficult to do what he's telling us to train. He's not telling us to do that. He's telling us to train that if we want. Yeah, and Geshe Tashi, he said at one point when he was teaching on this text, which I liked very much, he said, if you want to study this text, you need to want to be patient down in your guts, like not just in the head, but really to see the benefit of it, to really see why we are getting angry all the time, you know, and not to think that just by knowing it intellectually, that we can actually do it. So when we do these very difficult texts, not difficult to understand, you know, like Sunday evening with Geshe-ma is much more difficult to understand, but it's easier to practice. Because when you meditate on emptiness, when you think about emptiness, there is no, this is a neutral state of mind. You're not getting attached to emptiness. You're not averse to emptiness. You can get upset about yourself when you don't understand or get upset about the teacher, but it doesn't go into hate. Yeah. Whereas when we talk about how we behave with each other and how we treat each other or how we treat ourselves, this is different. Yeah. This is really kind of, Tibetans would say, the meat in the sandwich. Like, you know, you can say I don't know, the cucumber in the sandwich, or the cashew cheese in the sandwich or something like that. You can compare it to that. I don't know. So, but this is what makes the sandwich interesting. This is what makes Dharma practice interesting. This is what brings it to life. And this is where we can already now do something. Yeah. But it's very, very difficult to do. And please do not underestimate the task there. And Shantideva in the text, he's talking to himself. So Shantideva is already somebody who is very firmly on this path of bodhicitta. You know, probably he has already realized emptiness. This is why he can make these arguments with the other schools. So we can only take him as a guide or as an example or as a, how to say this in English? You know, when you're on a ship and then you're out in the ocean and then you see the light there on the shore, how you call afar? No, this is French. How do you call it in English? Anybody knows? Ein Leuchtturm in German.
Lighthouse?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much. So for us, he is the lighthouse, okay? We know this is where we want to go, but we are still very, very far out in the ocean. And even, I'm still far out in the ocean, you're not getting frustrated because you're far out in the ocean. You see that lighthouse and you know this is where you want to go. And you know what to do in order to get there. So he's giving us the methods in order to get there. Yeah. And one of these methods is awareness, is being able to see, to detect in a very honest way what is going on in our mind. And this we have to train, like just knowing how you create awareness is not going to make any change. But we have to sit and we have to do it. This is why also today we'll just start with a very simple awareness practice. I don't even call it meditation. It's just a practice, a training. And please, please, please bring friendliness into that training. Don't go, because it's so simple, watching your breath in, out, in, out, in, out. And then we get frustrated because we can't do it. Yeah, it sounds simple, but it's very difficult for us to do because our consciousness, our mind loves to be occupied. It thinks that if it thinks about problems, it can kind of solve them. It cannot. Yeah. It doesn't really want to be in the present because it thinks the present is boring. This is why it doesn't want to be there. Yeah. So we have to make the breath a little bit more interesting by imagining, coronavirus. I don't know if you have seen these pictures of people who are intubated. You haven't seen. I have seen, they showed us the pictures, what they do in Italy with these people, this huge tube. They shove it down your throat or something. They have to put people to sleep so that so you are they can intubate you. I thought it was just, they put something in your nose and it's oxygen and all this. I didn't know how serious this is when they talk about people are intubated. It's big suffering. So think like this, when you watch your breath. Wow, I can breathe without this machine that brings oxygen into my lungs, so that then by bringing oxygen into my lungs, like the blood is getting the oxygen that it needs and all this, because I have a very complicated machine. So basically, that maybe makes the breath a little bit more interesting, because whatever the mind is interested in, it can stay there. It will stay there. So you can, for example, use words like breathing in, or maybe easily breathing in, it keeps me alive. Easily breathing out, it keeps me alive. Something like that. Or just knowing that you're breathing in, you experience the breath. You're not just thinking I'm breathing. You really experience it. And then you go, breathing in keeps me alive. Then we need to breathe out again. Breathing out, it keeps me alive. Yeah. And I hope you love life. Do you? Yeah, okay. Some don't know. Some are totally poker faces here. Do you love your life? Yeah, come on. Life can be very, very joyful if you give it a chance. If you're not, you see again this whole thing. If you contribute to your own happiness and the happiness of others instead of just criticizing, yeah. Criticizing has some kind of maybe fun in it sometimes. It feels sometimes pleasant if we dislike the person. But in the long run, it just makes us feel miserable because we only concentrate on the negative things and we forget the positive things. Yeah. So we like to be alive. We're happy to be alive because while we have this human body, while we have this human life, we can still fulfill and we can still do a lot of things. Am I talking too fast for some people who maybe have a little bit problem with English? Then, I think I did, yeah, oh, you're all shaking your head. I see the ones that shake their heads. I know that your English is really good. So it's not for you what I said. I said for the ones who maybe have some problems with English. Wow, we have some very high visitors there, I see. Hi, Gidi. Hi, Micha. Wow, it's so nice to see you. Yeah, did you see them? Did you spot them? Are you having gallery view? Oh, okay. So as I'm saying, please, please bring some friendliness by appreciating what you're doing is a good thing. You know, sacrificing your free evenings, listening to me, is like, it's a good thing. Not because of me, but because of Shantideva. Okay. And having, you know, appreciating life. This is the only one we have at the moment. We can't wait for another one. Yeah, well, maybe next time will be better. Who knows? But we can learn to appreciate. We can train to appreciate. And it gives you so much space and so much, it's so much more fun to live when you're having this. Okay? So we'll try. So it's always good to have a relaxed body, but try to sit with a straight back in case that is possible. If it's not too painful, not too difficult, really putting the effort into your body relaxed and with a straight back, it's really, how to say, it's worthwhile. It's worthwhile to make an effort. And when we, you know, we're a bit afraid of the word effort. But when we do the effort voluntarily, it gives us a lot of energy. If we feel forced that we have to make an effort, then it becomes like really heavy, okay? But if we do make an effort voluntarily, then there's joy in it and it gives us energy, okay? Okay, then if you can either close your eyes or keep them open, whatever you are used to. For beginners, it's sometimes easier to close your eyes. The mind goes easier or quicker into daydreaming if your eyes are closed. And then connect with your body. Body is the best object to be present. This body that we know so well, you know, we're so preoccupied about it, but then we're not really present. We have totally wrong idea about what the body is. And with the criticizing the body, wow, you know, instead of appreciating that it still works, it's too fat, it's too thin, it's too small, it's too tall, it's too this, it's too that, the nose is too big, the ears are too kind of like elephant. It's like, you know. Do you have moments when you say thank you to your body and to the organs of your body that they work well? We can try that to relax the whole thing also, to be present and relax. I leave you a little bit with this. And you think about your organs. The stomach may be still digesting from lunch or tea time. Thank you for doing your job. Think about the stomach. The liver having to digest all the fat from the fries and from the hamburgers and whatever, even if they're vegetarian or vegan. The kidneys eliminating the poisons. Thank you. You can send a smile to your organs. It's like giving them an inner massage. Your lungs, getting in the oxygen that the blood needs in order to be able to do its job, to do the transformation from, you know, I don't know how it works. I'm not a doctor. It's very complicated, this whole thing. But the lungs who bring in the oxygen and get out the, how it's called, carbohydrate or something, the thing that we can't use anymore. Thank you for transforming the substance that I cannot use anymore and for bringing in the oxygen, which keeps me alive. Then the heart, pumping liters of blood, day in, day out. Thank you. the sense organs working more or less okay. Thank you. I can see, I can hear, I can talk, I can touch, I can smell, and I can taste. How wonderful. And probably the most sophisticated thing in the human body is the brain, the cortex. I can understand. I can transform. I can also destruct. This is true. I can figure things out. I can experience with the heart love, compassion, understanding how connected we are to others. How wonderful. So that would be a preparation for the breathing meditation. So now you go back to your lungs, to your breath. And you just try to notice in-breath for in-breath and out-breath for out-breath. And however you feel, whatever is there, don't manipulate. Just observe. Your breath is shallow or deep, labored or relaxed. Everything is fine. Whenever you feel the mind is moving away, you know that. Make the effort, bring it back. It needs a bit of effort. Mindfulness or awareness, you need to hold the present moment somehow. It's not a mind that is totally relaxed. Otherwise, like water, it just goes anywhere. That's why you need to give it an object, which is the breath. Then whenever you bring the mind back, it kind of creates the habit a little bit stronger for the mind to stay there. So even if it's just after 2 breaths, you notice that the mind is not there, then the mind is already back. So it's not about staying on the object. It's about noticing that you're not there. That is the success, if you want to have success. Instead of being frustrated, when you notice you're not there, be happy. This is the practice. To notice, to know what's going on. So breathing in keeps me alive. Breathing out, it keeps me alive. And then before we start with looking at the text again, you generate a motivation or your intention. So important also to let ourselves know again and again and again, what do I really want? What do I want to work with? What is preventing me from being the person I want to be? Is it really the outside world? Or is it my reaction to it? So you see, with motivations or intentions in Buddhism, we think very big. We want the best. Full awakening, full enlightenment. Like having eliminated all our own suffering and the causes for that, in order to be able to help all sentient beings to actualize also their potential. We can all become Buddhas. Nobody has to, but we can all become free from being under the control of our negative emotions. Everybody has that potential. So do we trust this innate, natural goodness that we all have? First, we need to trust our own. And then we can trust the goodness, the natural goodness of others, which might be very, 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 very hidden. Like a treasure that is deep, deep, deep hidden in the earth, like these gold mines or diamond mines. When we think that something is there, we can put a lot of effort trying to find it. So by believing in our own innate goodness, we're giving other people a chance to show theirs, but we're patient. We're not giving up. And we can feel the ego sometimes rebel by when we're angry at somebody, when we hate somebody. It's difficult to admit that they also have good sides. But it will not make us careless if somebody is dangerous. It will not make us forgive their actions that are harmful. But it will make us giving them the chance to show their good sides also. So this is what we want. This is the Buddhist intention or motivation for studying these things, not happiness in this life, although it's a side effect. But to be able to understand our mind, to be able to free ourselves from being under the control of the negative emotions who create actions and then create all the suffering. In order to be able to inspire other people to find their own potential, to be a guide, to be a lighthouse, like Shantideva. Imagine a text from the 8th century. We still study it today. It still inspires so many people today. Somebody who has lived so long ago, given us all these methods to work with. That's what we want to become. Now, if that's too high, then at least, the intention for doing meditation, studying these texts, at least include others. So by saying like, yes, I want to practice patience, so I know I will be a happier person. As I'm saying, this is the side effect that comes pretty quickly. if you really practice. If you take every opportunity and you're not just waiting for the big one to come, because then you won't be able to do it. But to include others by thinking, if I'm a happy person, other people around me, it's easier for other people around me when I'm happy. And happy in a way, not like this, ha ha ha, everything is so wonderful. Calm, open, spacious, being able to accommodate the difficult things, the joyful things, with a calm, open, equanimous mind. This is what it means to be happy. To be able to behave in a way that in the evening you can really think, at the end of the day, at the end of the week, at the end of my life, I contributed more than I harmed or than I criticized. If you can have that intention, not just for myself, but for my family, for my friends, for my colleagues, I'm going to study this text. Then it makes it really meaningful. Otherwise, if you just do it for yourself, come on, you're just one person in this whole universe. You could do this for so many and you only do it for one. That's not very meaningful. Now, don't feel the ego kind of being ashamed and starting to blow up. We can make it meaningful by just thinking, I'm just a tiny, tiny, tiny particle in this universe. May I be able to contribute to my happiness and the happiness of others. Okay. So what I'm saying and all these words and all these things, those are all methods. So, there's so many things we can think. There's so many things we can do or read or things that inspire us. So there are too many actually. But try them out, and whatever you feel is helpful for you, then use that. Yeah. So like the Buddhism is a little bit like a department store, everything is available, but you don't need all of it because otherwise it gets clustered. But by trying out and by really knowing what kind of works, then it's good to use that so that the mind almost automatically knows its antidote when there is an emergency situation with like very strong emotions or whatever. And Shantideva is giving us a whole array of looking at things in order for us to be less angry. So then again, I mention it again, although you're still not doing this properly, when we study the text, let's do it a little bit like a discussion group. So if you have objections or if you have, if you can help me or if you have ideas, what it could also mean and how it could be practiced, please say so. You can open up your microphone and then you just say. If everybody talks at the same time, you will have to raise your hand. But we never had this situation until now. So I'm very happy if you contribute, because when you are saying what you are thinking, for you it becomes much clearer. Yeah, you actually, when you're giving your opinion, maybe some people might now say, oh, she's saying this to Israelis. It's very dangerous. But I think so. No, I mean, it's like sometimes when I hear myself talk, if I'm aware, behind it goes like, what are you saying? You're not behaving like this. What are you talking about? And then something becomes clearer for me, it's not for me to kind of tell others what they should do. It's for us, for me, to be able to understand where my problems are, and then to kind of, and to see that the way I talk or the way I think and the way I behave sometimes is like this, you know. And then we have to make an effort so that tuck, 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 slowly, slowly, then it becomes like that. So the way we think, what we want, the way we talk, then is the way we behave also. And not just behave, but by behaving, and I don't mean just the body, but behave like without emotionally also, yeah, that we're not kind of falling into the trap of these negative emotions all the time. So those who were present last time, we stopped at verse number 33. Maybe I just read it. Maybe you need the text to be seen, or I just read it out slowly and then that's it, or yeah. Anyway, if you need the text, then you have to say so, and then we'll give you the text.
Actually, Ani,
Yeah.
Yael Shalev, she translated some of the next verses to
Okay,
Hebrew.
great. So you have
And,
it?
yes, I can share it
Then
with
you
you.
can show that, because I have the English text. I have it here printed out.
Okay, so I'll share the.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you for doing that, Yael. This is great. This is great help. Okay. If you are not happy with her translation, then you can complain to her. Don't complain to me. I don't understand Hebrew. We don't see it yet, because sometimes when yeah, now it's coming. Okay. Oh, so it's both. Wow, it's amazing. So we stopped at verse 33, which says, when seeing an enemy or even a friend. Yeah, perfect. Thank you very much, Tom. So when seeing an enemy or even a friend committing an improper action by thinking that such things arise from conditions, I shall remain in a happy frame of mind. You know, this again can be, so many things can be misunderstood. What it says is that Shantideva is trying to show us we kind of create enemies and we create friends in our mind. It's not, we think that the friend and the enemy is outside, but it's our own mind creating these, making these categories. And so when we see a friend doing a negative action, or when we see somebody that we dislike doing a negative action, then we react in a different way. And that was the homework, that you would try to see your reaction to these things. Can somebody maybe give us a little report what happened while you were doing this? Are we having a happy, you know, again, when it says maybe happy frame of mind is not such a good translate. It's not a good word, actually. I think we should get rid of the word happiness. And maybe we should have like a Sanskrit word or something, you know, like klesha, which has, when you know the definition of it, then it kind of, you don't have to say the whole thing. But I mentioned it a little bit in the meditation. What does it mean to be happy? Open, calm, spacious. If you need to react, you react, but with a calm mind. This is what he wants to say, like an even state of mind. I don't have the German translation here, so maybe, I think in German it says a little bit different. I think in German it says a steady mind, yeah, or a quiet mind. So did you see, maybe now we can just for a short while to close it, and so I can see you again. Okay. Did anybody do that? Would anybody like to share what happened?
I can share.
Yes, please, Yael. Lovely to hear your voice.
Oh, my neighbors, we have a wall that's the same wall for both of us, and they're doing renovations, which means that they're making a lot of noise a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a few days ago, there was this day where they were drilling and drilling and drilling, and every time the drill went, I told myself it's okay, it's impermanent. They're having going to have a lovely house and they're going to be happy, and it's going to be good for me too that they're happy. And it's not constant. Sometimes it's loud and sometimes it's not. And I was very, I had a steady mind.
Okay.
And then at one point, my son Zohar started making a noise in his room. And my instant reaction was, why is he so inconsiderate? Why can't he let me concentrate? Can't he see that I'm trying to work? And I didn't say anything, but it was really funny to see it in the mind, how when it's them, it's okay. But he has to behave differently.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Did something happen when you start to see how differently we react?
Yeah, that's why I didn't say anything. I was just about to shout at him. And then I realized what was going on. And I thought, that's really ridiculous, because in 5 minutes, the drill is going to start again. And why is that okay? And him, it's not okay.
Yeah. So this is why this is so helpful. The moment we see how unlogical we are, we're able to let go quite quickly. Not always, yeah, especially when it's big harm being done. But I would like to encourage you again, when you start to observe, take small occasions, don't take big ones, because it's too big. It's the wave is too strong. It will sweep us away. We discussed it last night here also, you know, when you have somebody who constantly is doing harm to others again and again and again, how can you have a steady mind? It's too difficult for us. So try to train with smaller things, unless you really realize. I don't know, during the meditation, did you hear the noise? Because then I closed the microphone. So it's kids playing outside, because we have a trampoline and we have a table tennis kind of table. So, you know, just right outside a meditation the Gompa, it's right there, it's right outside. And the windows are closed. So people go like, it shouldn't be here and all that. And then I go like, come on, it's people having fun. I mean, how can you get upset? You know, there's people who are living in war zones where bombs are falling. Then maybe you can say you get upset. But people playing, and it's people from the whole house and the kids from all around. And it's really nice to hear them and see them. It's noisy, that's true. But it's good noise, you know. And whether good noise or bad noise is in your mind. Yeah, so that's it. Sometimes when a friend is doing a negative thing, negative action, we actually try to hide it. Like we try to, you know, or we try to explain also, you know, somebody we dislike is doing negative action. Somebody comes and says, oh, they did this and this and that. We go, yeah, and they're bad and blah, blah, blah. When somebody comes and says this about somebody we like, we go like, yeah, but it's because maybe they had a headache, or maybe they lost their job, or maybe this, maybe that. We try to see the situation we try to explain to the other person the situation in its complexity that it is, so that we can understand why somebody is behaving in an unskillful way. We never do that with people we dislike. Yeah. So this is what he's trying to say. So for us, it is. And it was not the homework just last week, okay? Like these homeworks that I'm giving you, it's good if you pile them up, and you know, it's like a ladder. You know, you can't take away the lower steps, because otherwise you fall. So you know, maybe not a ladder, but like blocks that are put on top of each other. So if you take away the lower one, then it's not working. So it's quite interesting to see our totally biased reactions. Okay, so then Tom, can you show us the screen again? Thank you very much. Wow, such a good service here. Here in Switzerland, I have to do all by myself, you know. Okay, so 34. If things were brought into being by choice, then since no one wishes to suffer, suffering would not occur to any embodied creature. So I let you the time to read the Hebrew, and then you can give me the kind of common view again, so I can see you. I like to see you guys, so that's why. Okay? Okay, so yeah, great, thank you. So the problem in one's lives are many, yeah? We're not seeking them. Nobody gets up expect for maybe Lama Zopa, who says, your problems will become like ice cream at one point, because you understand that they're purifying your negative karma and they are making you practice patience. So that's Lama Zopa, okay? That's maybe Shantideva. When he talks about, you remember he talked about the benefits of suffering, that it makes us, when it's suffering, it destroys our arrogance, it purifies negative karma, and it makes us being more empathetic with other people. But we have this attitude when we start to think about it. When the first thing the problem comes, we go like, no, why now? So then it's really good to see how 24 hours a day, we have the wrong expectation that we should be happy, that things should go well for us, that we shouldn't have any problems. I mean, at least Swiss people, I don't know about you Israelis, are you also like this? And I'm not talking consciously, I'm talking about instinctively. And so we're quite obsessed with our own happiness. Of course, you can say, well, I'm also obsessed with the happiness of my family or my friends and all this. But why with these people? Because they're my family. They are my friends. Well, the people, we're not so obsessed, We're not so involved. We don't invest so much in them, I mean, time-wise. So without seeking these problems, like health problems, business complications, relationship problems, they all happen to us and all other people, all other beings, yeah? So whatever action we commit, we think it should produce the result we intended, and yet this is not always the case. We're kind of struggling, we're making a lot of effort, always with the wish that things should go the way I want them to go. Is that so? Yes or no? It's definitely so. We never think, oh, it might go totally wrong. We're not even giving it the chance at the beginning that it will go wrong. Because I think, why are we not integrating all this? Like, I'm making the effort, that's good enough. Then it's like the arrow, when you are a practitioner of Zen and you do this, what's it called? Arrow shooting? I can't remember. That with the stick is Aikido, and the other one is, Leora Price's son would know, grandson would know that now, but he's not here. She's not here, she's looking at some Ayurveda program. So I'm not clairvoyant, by the way. She sent me a WhatsApp message. So, like what they do, like the moment you let the arrow fly, this is it. You don't have control anymore. But we think with our actions that we still have control. But what then determines what the result will be is what is called karma, like things that we produced, actions that we did before we before we even put the arrow in, and then the result is that, because as Shantideva says, if it would be only a matter of being, of wishing things to go well, for all of us, things would go well. But it's because we live our lives without knowing that the true nature of self and phenomena is one that lacks inherent existence. This is why we create, do I want to say negative actions? I prefer to say unskillful actions. Not right now. When you do an action now, and this is difficult to understand, I think. When you do an action now with body, speech, and mind, you create a potential, something that at one point will ripen when the conditions out there are there. But all the actions we do it with the wrong view. This is the root problem of why the root cause why we suffer. Because we do it with a very instinctive view of I, a real I, me, is doing a real action to a real other. Yeah, we add something to reality that is not there. And for those people who have only joined lately, I use this example, which I find very helpful when we are upset about somebody that maybe harms us or behaves in a way we totally dislike. Okay, so the way when we describe it is we make these three mistakes that our mind habitually, instinctively is making. Yeah, we say he is objectively him out there. If you don't understand, please ask. Yeah, and Yael will explain in Hebrew. Okay, so we say he is objectively out there, not I see him as. Yeah, because I see a very unpleasant person that somebody else maybe is in love with him or totally adores him or admires him. So, but I am convinced he is, that's it, concrete, objectively. Yeah, he is. Then we go always. Yeah, we totally forget that they also could have positive sides. He is always so totally nasty, one aspect only. Yeah, so he is objectively existing really out there, always permanently, like before, now, future, always like this, and totally nasty, only one aspect. And with this sentence, we make three mistakes. That person does not exist the way that he appears to me. That person can also be very nice and is also very nice at times, because he would have been killed long ago if he's only nasty. Yeah. And also, this is not his only aspect, and this person can also transform. So this is when we say, like, why is it that we don't have happiness? Because we live our lives without knowing that the true nature of self and phenomena is one that lacks inherent existence. Objective existence, true existence, permanent existence, and kind of one unity, like only one aspect kind of existence. For us, we even use these words totally. What else do we use in Hebrew? What is it? What would you use in Hebrew to make sure that it's this way and not another way? What word would you use?
לחלוטין,
Huh?
לגמרי. לגמרי, לחלוטין,
Okay.
באופן מוחלט.
Yeah, many. Yeah. So because we need these words in order to make it the way we see it, but it doesn't make it exist the way we see it. The word doesn't make it all these things. Yeah. But then we live in that illusion. So the conceptual mind of an ordinary being mistakenly apprehends everything as truly and independently existing on its own, without any involvement of mental imputation, nor causes and conditions. Our mind adds something. When people say in Buddhism, you don't have a creator. Oh, yes, we have a creator, our own mind. Our own mind is creating reality. But unfortunately, our own mind is not like a creator God who would have power to create it the way he or she wants to create it. Yeah, but the mind is creating the image outside. Do you understand? And all our suffering and everything that happens to us is based on a cognitive mistake. Do you understand? A mistake that is being made by our mind. Now, knowing that intellectually is wonderful, but it's not enough. But knowing it intellectually already takes away a little bit the sting or the narrowness of these things, this whole thing that we're not able to move forward kind of thing. Okay? But then you need to think about it again and again and again and again. And so whatever appears to us, it's good to question it and Could you give a simple example? Sigal is asking. What is it that you don't understand, Sigal? Do you understand where are you? Yeah, you're there. You understand the example that I gave you when I say he is always totally nasty, that we make 3 mistakes. Okay, so that's it. By understanding this, adding something that is not there. Yeah, like for example, to many things we add permanence. And then when the thing is good, we are disappointed when it kind of breaks apart or when it's not there anymore. Yeah, for example, we get a lot of disappointment. We get a lot of disappointment because of this, what Shantideva says here, because we want happiness, but we meet suffering. And then we're disappointed because we don't understand that what we call happiness might not be happiness, that we're putting the label happiness or the name happiness, we're putting it on the wrong object, because instinctively our mind is putting happiness on pleasure, things that go really easy, things go the way I want them to go, people do what I want them to do, all these kind of things. This is what we call happiness. But that happiness is very temporary. But then we kind of think that it will last. Yeah. And it's not real happiness. Why? Because we get dependent on it. Because it's all outside things. So we get dependent that things go the way we want them to go. That whatever I'm eating is giving me a pleasant sensation. You see, sensations, sensual experiences, pleasant, unpleasant, neutral, is not depending on the object. The object is just a condition for a sensation to arise, pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. If the object would be the cause for the pleasant or unpleasant feeling, the same object would give us always the same feeling, but it's not like this. So what determines whether we experience an object, a person, or a situation as pleasant is how we see it, how my mind is seeing the object, not consciously, because it depends on karmic results, karmic imprints. Okay? So when we go like, wow, this is so good, like Roni when she gets her food at Achim's. Okay? I don't know if you know Achim's. They have really good food, or Julia's, or these restaurants. So already, if one wouldn't know that it comes from there, and somebody says, oh, I bought this at the street corner here, it looked a bit dirty, but the food looked okay, so maybe I bought it. So already the mind kind of changes something. Yeah, it's from Achim, it's from Julia's, or wherever your favorite restaurant is. Mine is the Dosa Bar. So, there, if I just think Dosa Bar, Tel Aviv, I see whole India. So this is how I see how my mind kind of adds things just by a thought, not even having the object. Yeah. So then we think that the pleasant feeling comes from the food, from Achim's or Dosa Bar or wherever, it can be McDonald's. It doesn't really matter, because the pleasant feeling is not Achim's food, Julia's food, McDonald's food. The pleasant food is not even in your tongue. The pleasant food is in your mind and your approach to the whole thing. So once we start to understand that, and we start to understand, especially these things are totally impermanent, and then we don't become so dependent on them, and we start to look for real happiness. Yeah, like in the verse that we had, one verse before was when it says, the causes for happiness are many, and the causes for suffering are many, the causes for happiness are just a few. For us, the causes of happiness, there most of the time unless you're a spiritual practitioner and you really know what your job is, meaning to work with your mind. The causes for happiness are sense pleasures, or people do what we want them to do. Yeah. For a spiritual practitioner, the causes of happiness are when you succeed not to follow your negative emotions. Then there's this search of kind of, wow, this is great. Yeah. But it's dependent on not, you're not following your emotions. So it's also, we become dependent on them. But it's a happiness that is deeper seated. And it's a happiness that is a bit kind of, I don't want to say more true, but it's a happiness that leads to happiness. It's like, if I'm able not to follow my delusions, it does lead me to the happiness of being free from negative emotions, of being free from these impulses. If I'm happy about good food, again, we can change it. We can make this into a spiritual practice by thinking about the cooks who made this food, by thinking about the people who grew the vegetables, by thinking about the people who harvested these things, people who transported these things, people who were thinking very hard, how can we make good food for our customers? And then just to say thank you. If you're suffering from broken heart, as someone doesn't want you, is sad. It's a fact. It's not. Well, what do you call a fact? We cannot force other people to love us. They love us, fine. They don't love us. Do we love everybody? We don't love everybody. We also give ourselves the liberty to like some and some others not. Yeah. So do we need to have a broken heart if somebody doesn't want us? Why? I mean, there's so many other people around. Why does it have to be that one? You see, so this whole thing about being attracted to one person, and I really want this person, otherwise I can't be happy. That's another illusion. Because you might be very happy getting the person, and then it turns sour after a while. I mean, so many people are divorced. If we don't believe it, that this first thing of, if I have this person, I will be truly happy forever after. And it feels like it's eternal. It feels like it holds. So it's totally unrealistic there also. This is why our heart breaks, because we have wrong expectations. So if you had a relationship for a short while, a good one, be happy, be grateful, and then say, okay, but now it's finished, now it's over. Your heart doesn't need to break because somebody doesn't want you. Our heart should break when we hate somebody. As a spiritual practitioner, this is where we should have a broken heart, when I hurt somebody else, when I hurt somebody's feelings. But that doesn't mean you have to go to bed with everybody that wants your body. Excuse me, I mean, don't be the Bodhisattva who says, oh, I offer my body, he wants sex with me. Okay, I go and, give him my body. You can do that when you really realize, but you're not realized. So we're giving maybe, some food or some money or some, I don't know what, before you give away your body. Yeah. But we don't have control over other people. We have no right to have control over other people. They want us. Okay. I mean, you see, we think we want to be wanted, but we don't want to be wanted by everybody. We choose by whom we want to be wanted. I mean, how ridiculous is this? And then we think just because I want him or her, whatever, then he or she should want me also. This is, again, totally wrong view how life is. Life is not like this. Just if we look around us, then we see that it's absolutely not realistic. So as long as we don't realize dependent arising means if you have a harmonious relationship, of course, the conditions for this is the way we behave now, but that's not the cause. Do you understand the difference between conditions and cause? Everybody? Some nod, some don't say anything. Like from the karmic, I'm talking from karmic point of view. If you know karma, there is causes, like substantial causes, and contributing factors. So if we take a very simple example of a seed, you understand seed? Okay? Like if we want a plant, we need a seed that comes from the same plant, a substantial cause. Without this, nothing happens. But for the seed to ripen, it needs conditions, moisture, warmth, earth. Yeah? Okay. If these two things come together, the substantial seed that comes from a previous plant until now, maybe at one point people are able to make seeds and clone them, but still for cloning, you need something that is there before you start cloning. But who knows, at one point science can make seeds without anything. I don't know. I don't think so though. I think that still needs some kind of continuum, because otherwise then we can really say we have creators, you know, somebody who is able to create from nothing something. Yeah, I just read it. Thank you, Tom. I just read it after. I just finished with that. So for a harmonious relationship, we need the conditions now, which is our present behavior, how we behave to this person, whether we want to own them, to control them, or whether we just appreciate them the way they are. We don't. You see, I have this couple, which are very good friends of mine, and a really good couple, actually. I mean, they had very happy relationship until he died. He died very young, like 42 or something, from cancer. But so we were discussing, and he said to her, he said, you know, it's really strange. When we met the first time, we fell in love with each other just like this. Yeah. So that then I had the impression that you like me the way you are, the way I am. So then we got together, we got married, we lived together. And since then, you constantly tried to change me. Like, you know, this is not right, do this like this, do this like that. And so she said, what do you want? Do you want to, no, it continued. And then he said, and then lately, because he said, I'm trying to put, you know, the cups like this and the toothpaste to press there and all these little things that upset her. So he said, I'm really trying because I really love you. But then the other day, you looked at me with your sad eyes and you said, oh, it's such a shame. You have changed so much. So what do you want? Yeah. So you see, because when we fantasize, yeah, our wanting mind, when it's in love, we put a perfect picture on this person. This is what attachment does, or desire. Desire adds perfectness to the object. And then when the desire fades away, the picture of perfectness also, you know, the paint kind of falls away. The silver lining kind of falls away. And then we see the way that the person is, and then we're disappointed. Instead of saying, well, I think I kind of didn't see reality there when I was in love, because that's what we learn in Buddhism. When we have attached love, we totally over-exaggerate the qualities of the person, but we don't want to believe it. And then when we see the real thing, then it's time to see, but the person still has this and this and this and this quality, instead of kind of just digging, you know, criticizing the faults and trying to change them and these kind of things. Because we don't want to be changed by our partners. How many of you ask your partner, you know, I feel that something is not quite right with me. Could you please help me and tell me what is not right and then help me change? Do we do that? Or your friends? Are you happy when your friends are telling you all the time, that something, you need to do this, why don't you do it like this? You know, they don't even say, you need to do this, you need to do that. They go like, why are you not doing this like this? Already implying that the way that they want you to do is much better, you know, because we don't add it, but this is what we mean when we say, why don't you do it like this? This would be so much better. We don't say it, but we mean it. And come on, this is upsetting. We're not leaving, you know, we want freedom, but we're not leaving partners or friends the freedom because we don't like them the way they are. So now it's like Tom's friend. Sigal, do you understand? The broken heart is totally in your mind. It's not in your anywhere else. Yeah. Some people are quite happy to be rid of their partners, by the way. They pay a lot of money to get rid of them, having to go to court and, you know, all the lawyers and all these kind of things. So if Tom is asking, if we realize that things arise of conditions and causes, then can we avert suffering by meeting all the causes and conditions to what makes us happy, such as good food, etc. Well, again, the good food is in the mind. The good food is not in the food. It's the mind who says it's good food. What do you think? Tom asked this question. So somebody has left us. I don't know who it is. If I upset your feelings by being quite clear about these things, that the broken heart is in your mind. I'm saying that not to hurt your feelings, but I'm saying that one thing is because the Buddha is saying that, and I have to give you Buddhism. The other one is it can be helpful. It can be very, you see, it's very hurtful when somebody says that, but hey, you know, the broken heart is only in your mind. So Sigal, I don't know if you suffer from a broken heart right now, because if I would know, now she's laughing, so I guess you're not, okay? So because if I know somebody and their partner has just left them or cheated on them, I would never say that to that person. I would just listen to what the person says and understand it's very painful. I would not even try to make them understand that it's in the mind. Yeah, that would be too cruel. So I hope you don't have a broken heart right now, because that's the moment to work with these things, to see, oh, you know, good and bad is not out there. It's in my mind. And this is what we don't understand. So, Sigal, sure I am. What, having a broken heart? You don't look like you have a broken heart. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, we're doing a reflection at the end so that you can heal your broken heart. I think we can do it this time, because I thought I would get much further. Then again, we're just stuck with one verse here, but it doesn't really matter. We have a lot of time. So, but we try to do some healing meditation for your broken heart. Maybe. Let's see. Yeah, we can do that at the end. Is that okay, Sigal? So maybe your broken heart can mend. Now, what Tom said, can we create the causes and conditions to be happy all the time? What do you think? Question to you. I'm not going to answer. I want some answer from you guys here. Elisheva, you are very quiet the last few times. Hello. Do you want to give me an answer? You want to try?
I'm enjoying very much.
Okay.
All the time.
Enjoy. This is to work hard. Me too, I'm enjoying very much. There's nothing wrong with enjoying Dharma talks. Okay, do you think, Tom, is this possible? Can we create the causes and conditions by having ethical conduct, for example? The causes for our suffering is unethical conduct from the past. These are the causes. Meaning not doing an action out of a negative state of mind, out of an unskillful state of mind. Those are the causes. Then the conditions are also karma, but they can be changed. The conditions we cannot change. The causes we can change. I can give this seed more water, less water, more worms, less worms, these kind of things. This I can do. So who wants to answer Tom? Come on, don't be so chicken here. It's okay if it's not the right thing you're saying. You know, I'm not expecting you to say the right thing.
I think you
What do you
can.
Yes, Yael. It's not
Giddy,
Yael
Giddy,
Shalef, it's
Giddy.
Huh?
Giddy wanted to talk.
Giddy
Giddy.
wanted to talk.
Yeah.
Is that true, Giddy? You wanted to say something?
It's okay.
Go ahead, please.
We're synced across the Atlantic. I think we can. I mean, this is the whole point. I mean, of the practice. That at some point we don't suffer.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. This is why we practice, because that's what we want, to be free from suffering. But what do we need to do? What is the main cause? In order to end all suffering, we need to do one thing. And all these other things that we're doing here are methods to be able to do that one thing. Because what we're doing here by practicing patience and generosity and all these kinds of things, we create the causes to be able to.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yael wants to answer.
I think to be more in the noticing, to be noticing more and more.
To be noticing more and more. Noticing what more and more?
Emptiness.
Maybe what is happening now? To be present.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, who is happy? If there is someone happy, so it is not happiness.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
When you say to be able to see what is happening now, where do we need to be able to see that? Where?
Where?
In our own mind?
Exactly. In our own mind, to see how the mind is projecting, to see dependent arising, to see that everything is just labeled or created by the mind. And then to realize the nature of things as being empty of any real, inherent, true existence. Okay? As long as we do not realize dependent arising or realize emptiness, these are the two ways that things exist. They're one entity, but not the same. Okay? But one cannot exist without the other. Without emptiness, things cannot exist. Emptiness cannot exist without a conventional reality, without dependent arising. Yeah, you cannot have something that is empty of something if you have nothing. And you cannot have something that exists if it's not empty, if it's itself. This I can only recommend you Sunday evenings, Keshima. She is going backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards with Chandra Kirti's middle way, destroying all your views. Yeah. So as long as we haven't realized that, and this is what I said at the beginning, even our positive actions go with the wrong view of me, a real me, I, doing a real action to a real other. So all our action, even including virtuous actions that we carry out, become causes for samsara. Okay, a happy samsara, that is true. But it's not lasting happiness, because there, as long as we are under the control of these wrong views of inherent existence, even if we're very ethical, we're very generous and all this, we still have to die. We still have to be reborn. Yeah, we're still kind of, we still have this ego-centered mind, you know. And then we do maybe a positive act for what? To have a good rebirth next time. Yeah, that is still samsara. So we make light offerings, we offer prayers, but with a strong sense of self and self-interest. You know, when we look, our positive actions, if I look myself, I kind of, when Geshe Pema Dorje was teaching, and he was teaching about, you know, the letting go of like the 10 innermost jewels of Kadampa. And I was thinking, it's true. I'm doing these actions. And then I think, oh, I'll have a good rebirth next time. You know? Yeah. Enlightenment is very, very far away somehow. But still, it's like, hey, come on, you don't want just a good rebirth. You want liberation and enlightenment. So we have to train the mind to kind of think in that direction. So when this happens, our prayers may still be a form of virtue, but are not pure dharma. Hence, they will bring some form of samsaric pleasure, which has as its nature the suffering of change. And of course, also the all pervasive suffering. Yeah. The moments of happiness we have come usually because we get what we want, but the happy feeling fades away very, very quickly. And we can't bring it back. You see, well, people say, oh, I have so many happy memories. Oh, but it's so shallow compared to the feeling that we had right the moment when we made contact with the object. It's almost non-existent. Yeah. We try to preserve these things by making photographs and videos and movies and put them in the Facebook and the Instagram and I don't know where, but it's, yeah. And then we have to go look for new ones. So then what we're trying to find with time, when we start to understand this, what we're trying to find is some kind of a deeper happiness that comes from stillness of mind, for example. Openness of mind, which comes through longer meditation retreats. Then we have a taste of what this could be, but still fades away once we come out of the retreat. Then it doesn't last very long. But it's still we have. Gidi is laughing. Yeah, is it true, Gidi? Does it last?
Not so much.
Not so much. But we have tasted it. This is the main point. That we have tasted it and we have made a direct experience that we can be in a very kind of not so nice place. It can be noisy, like when you were in India, yeah, like somewhere near, can't remember, Rishikesh or somewhere. Where were you? Yeah. It can be noisy, it can be this, it can be that. Still, when we accept this is the way it is and we want to be there, we can have, breakthroughs of total openness. So we taste it. It's also impermanent, okay? But at least then we go for that, yeah? And then we go deeper. And then when we have enough positive karma and enough quiet mind and enough teachings that we have received on emptiness, we will get a direct experience of emptiness. And then things, when we come out of meditation, they will still appear, but we will not believe it anymore that they are true, yeah? So this is the whole path. This is why there is a whole path there, how to do things. Okay, so we only did one verse. Okay, so maybe for this, like the homework will be when you have a happy feeling, instead of instinctively grasping at the situation or at the person, or at the object, you think, not the object. A positive imprint ripening from the past. And then, no, we're not going that far. I was going, I'm exhausting all my positive karma. No, don't go that far. Then you don't want to look anymore. Yeah, just go, okay. It looks as if the happy feeling comes from the person. It looks as if the happy feeling comes from the pleasant feeling. I prefer to say pleasant feeling, that the pleasant feeling comes from the object, making contact with the object. It looks as if the pleasant feeling comes from the situation. And then we go intellectually. No. Comes from a past action I've done in the past, which is positive. Oh, great. Then I want to create more positive actions now because I like this, yeah. Then I can make progress on the path because I need more or less a happy life so I can practice. If your life is just kind of, if your life is just misery, you can't look at your mind. You need to first build yourself up. If you have an unpleasant feeling when you look at somebody, when you hear something, when like now, with all these people who want to go to Oman that when you get upset and all this, you're not saying that it's their fault that I'm upset. You say, my mind, it doesn't have to get upset. You're not stopping them by getting upset when you hear they want to go there. You know, you can admire their determination, for example. Not what they're doing, because I also think it's kind of harmful that they want to go there. It's dangerous that they want to go there, but we can see their determination, their courage, yeah, not being afraid of this virus. Okay, we can say it's stupidity. Yeah, this courage can be stupidity. So take away the stupidity, but see the determination. Say, hey, when it comes to my own enlightenment, this is how determined I want to be, but not harming somebody else. There's this very nice one verse from Nagarjuna. We read it, I think, once or twice. Tommy was asking for the text, where it says, may I be able to stop other beings from doing negative actions without doing them any harm. You know, it's such a nice verse. You know, that we have this wish to be able to stop others from harming, but without harming them. Yeah, for that we need a lot of skills. Yeah. So when we have an unpleasant feeling, again, you go, no. These people who want to go there, or whatever whatever is happening, it is just a condition for me to get upset. It's not the cause. The cause is because I don't understand emptiness. The cause is because I don't understand how karma works. Yeah. Then watch what is happening to your agitated mind. The mind that is grasping at the pleasure, I'm afraid to say it will calm down, but another happiness will creep in, a happiness of having understood something. And that happiness is much deeper and not dependent on things going on outside. And if you get upset about something and you say, these are just the conditions, they are not the causes. The cause is a previous moment of getting upset about something, a previous moment of anger in this life or in a previous life. This is why I'm getting angry now. So this is why also you don't have to get angry at yourself when you get angry. You know, we have all these habitual tendency imprints, the causes for greed, anger, jealousy, fear, anxiety, and all this. We carry them with us. We all have them. So when these objects or when these imprints come together with the conditions, then, oh yeah, thank you. Great. Then it is, then these negative emotions will ripen again. All we can do to be aware and not to collaborate with them, to be careful of body and speech, so that, and of thoughts, so that we're not creating more seeds. That's all we can do, but that's already a good thing, you know. Okay, so is it okay that, because I'm still not sure, do I do an hour and a half? Do I do 2 hours? I try to do an hour and a half, but we do a short reflection to heal Sigal's broken heart. Okay, Sigal? Is that okay? Okay. And to heal many things, not just a broken heart, by the way. So try to sit again just with a straight back. And, you know, when we look at this text and when we see how much work still needs to be done, even with things that we understand it like easily intellectually, that anger is no good, that suffering has kind of advantages and all these kinds of things, we can understand, but still, you know, there's so much work to be done. And then we see that I behave totally as if I would never have heard these words. And when we think like this, how do we feel? How do we feel when we fail? How do we feel when our very good intentions, you know, it needs very little to kind of, for them to go out of the window? How do we feel? So try to drop the story, why I feel like that. You know, I am bad, I am lazy, I'm not a good practitioner, I'm too stupid, I'm too this, I'm too that. Just drop the story. or blaming outside. It's their fault. If I would be in another country, I wouldn't be so angry. You know, come to Switzerland. We have plenty of angry people around. Just the condition, it's not the cause. So the first thing, when you feel these first thing is we start to feel inside with a lot of kindness, with a lot of curiosity. If the emotions or the feelings, because it's body feelings, emotions are not in the head, you feel them in your body. If they're panicking, too dramatic, then don't go too much awareness on how does it feel. But the first step is always stop yourself giving reasons why you feel like this. Drop the story, drop the thoughts, go into the feeling. Be aware of it with a lot of courage. The broken heart that Sigal was saying. Somebody rejects me. Then we start to doubt ourselves. Maybe I'm not lovable. So then we start the broken heart. Where does it sit? Whatever it is, you know, disappointment, broken heart, anxiety, low self-confidence, these kinds of things. If you feel them in your body, where does it sit? How does it feel? So we start to trust our innate goodness and intelligence. You see, sometimes we identify with these feelings, but you have try to go where you can, the one who is observing the feeling, the observer, the one who notices the feeling. And when you look, that one who observes is always feeling the same way. It is never agitated. It is never kind of totally overwhelmed with joy. That observer is our innate calmness, peace, spaciousness, our nature. And that there's a lot of goodness in there. So try to trust that. That space where I can go to observe what is going on is always there. And this is the nature of the mind. And it always feels the same, whether I'm agitated or calm. But now again, go to the painful feeling. If it helps, you can put your hand on that part of your body where you feel it. Like as if you would put a loving, healing hand on a friend's shoulder that you're trying to comfort, pacify, relieve from suffering, or support. We can do that for ourselves. If we trust that we have this innate goodness. And then especially when we feel rejected, or as Sigal says, broken hearts. So many people have broken hearts, feel rejected. Then imagine maybe a trustworthy person or some energy like the Buddha or Jesus or even God or the Dalai Lama or I don't know. Good friend, a trustworthy person. What would you like to hear from this person? Somebody that you trust. Or if you have enough self-confidence, you can say it to yourself. What do you need to hear at that moment when you feel rejected? When you feel that you're stupid? when you feel that you're not capable. If it's an outside person or being or energy, try to see that person, being or energy say it. But we can also do that for ourselves by trusting that inner goodness and just say, yes, I am lovable. And like that, we can connect with these resources that are always there. The resources of natural inner goodness, spaciousness, love, compassion, and wisdom. Or with this inner light, if you want to call it a light. And we just finish the evening by thinking again and again and again and again, I am a good person. Not because I'm doing this and this, then it goes into arrogance, because we compare ourselves with others. But my nature is goodness. I am a good person. That's what we need to nourish. And then we contribute instead of criticizing, as we started the evening. We contribute to our own happiness and to the happiness of others that we want to benefit from our goodness. So we dedicate all the positive energy that we have created this evening by listening, thinking, reflecting, discussing. May all beings be able to live that wonderful potential of kind of unlimited love, compassion, and wisdom. And may we all be able to contribute to that. Okay. So did you get the homework? By noticing, pleasant feelings, unpleasant feelings, and instead of falling into the trap, it comes from the object to go, it comes from a previous positive or negative karmic imprint. And then see what happens. It will be an interesting week if you do that, Okay, Tom, I got 15 minutes I went over. I think it's supposed to be an hour and a half, isn't it?
I think it's good this way also.
Okay. Now, again, you didn't ask any questions. You had no objections. So what can I do? I mean, I don't want to ask you every time. Do you have questions? You know that you can interrupt me if you have questions. So if you don't. So I hope you have a very, very good week. And it's not New Year yet, is it? No, soon. But anyway, I'm doing quite a lot of things for the Dharma Friends in the near future, like the next few months. I think the next one is like Saturday in a week. We do Guru Puja, which is purely religious and ritual. So if you don't like it, you can. Zoom is great, because you can put it on, then you go, oh, I don't like that. And you don't even have to sneak out the room. You can just go, leaving the session, and that's it. So everybody who is curious about it, you can, of course, come and listen to what this is all about. And you have all the freedom and the liberty to leave when you think, no, this is not, because it's not for everybody. Rituals, wow, you need a lot of positive energy to be able to do rituals. We always forget that. For the mind to have enough space to do something where we see absolutely no result at the beginning, for that you need to have faith in Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. You need to know Buddhism quite well so that you kind of adventure yourself in these rituals. So today we did Medicine Buddha. Like the altar is, maybe you can still see it, like it's behind here. I'm going to go and distribute the things in the house. And I did it, we were only 2 people, me and somebody else, because it's 5 o'clock. Some people still work, and so many other things are happening on Zoom, like spiritual. I did this with so much joy because I did it for the pandemic. And I thought, this is the only thing I can do, but this I can do, you know, recite the names of these medicine Buddhas. And it creates so much joy. If you have, how to say, the grace and the intelligence, kind of to be patient and to just think, okay, it could do something good. If it doesn't, at least it doesn't do any harm. So this will be twice, we'll do puja stuff. And then like one is medicine Buddha and the other one is Lama Chöpa. Lama Chöpa is very profound. So then it's quite complicated, but I'll try to explain in a simple way. And then what else do we do? The 4 immeasurables. For Yom Kippur, we'll do forgiving, of course, like always, you know, and then is something like letting go of the 4 attachments. I think that's it. So it's a few events, but still you have like Yaki, you have Geshe-ma, you have, I don't know who else. You have the Dalai Lama, I almost forgot, on the 4th to the 6th. You know, he's coming to your living room just for you alone, on your screen, of course, but it's just you and the Dalai Lama. I think this is so wonderful. I really enjoy these early mornings with the Dalai Lama here in the Gompa, just me and him. It's great. It makes the day so special, you know, when you receive these teachings early in the morning. And for me, it makes a difference if I watch it direct or if I watch it kind of webcast. Webcast, I'm, you know, 10 minutes and then I'm off doing something else while he's still talking. So, but this is maybe very personal. So many good things are happening at the moment in terms of Dharma teachings. You know, and please don't go, oh, it's too much. No, it's not too much. You can choose. Yeah. So be happy that you have this choice. Okay, now I stop. Thank you very much. And we keep the 4th and the 6th of September, Dalai Lama. Yeah, 4th, 5th, and 6th of September, the Dalai Lama, DalaiLama.com live. In Switzerland, it's 5:30, so that would be, Israel would be 6:30 in the morning. And he's teaching on the 37 practices of a Bodhisattva. Wonderful text. Difficult to practice, easy to understand. But it has very clear instructions. If you want to be a Bodhisattva, not do this and do that, train to do this and do that. You know, not do it, but train to do it. So we think of, again, Togme Zangpo, the one who wrote that text. He's the lighthouse. I never used that example. I think it's quite nice. He's the lighthouse, and we're far out in the ocean, and this ocean is full of waves. At the moment, I think it's quite calm. Yeah, but so many storms, so many waves. But the lighthouse is always there. We just need to not to lose sight of it. Okay? Okay, have a good week and see you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you
Take
very
care.
much.
Stay healthy.
Thank you.
תודה רבה לכל מי שהשתתף.
ביי.
נתראה בשבוע הבא. וכמובן את כל המידע שאני לוסנג אמרה פה, אתם יכולים למצוא באתר האינטרנט שלנו, כמו שרשמתי בצ'אט, אז מוזמנים לבקר ולראות ולהתרשם ולבחור, ויש לנו בהחלט הרבה דברים בשבילכם.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Tom. I love Hebrew. This is why I stayed. I really miss it. I really, really miss it. And people here in Switzerland, they feel with me, you know, they say, oh, this is so sad that you don't go, because they know I love to go. So I meet with compassion, not, oh, good, you're staying here. Yeah, so it's like, no, they're sad with me that I cannot come. So this is why I love to listen to Hebrew. So thank you, Tom. Okay, bye. Now I'm going.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
תודה, תום גם.